Hi, welcome to the Island Wealth channel, and this channel is about your island wealth. We're talking today about the BRICS and USA, and we want to know how the BRICS versus USA, the war that's going to start, the financial war, how it is going to affect you on the Caribbean. So if you are living on a beautiful island of the Caribbean, this is going to be a great episode where I'm going to show you exactly what data we are collecting of the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Ethiopia, Iran, and Indonesia. And we're also going to show you what the impact would be if you're living in the Caribbean. Your wealth, how it is going to be affected, what happens if Mr. Trump raises tariffs, taxes everybody, what's going to happen? My name is Runy Calmera. I am an economist, I'm an investor, I'm a macroeconomist, and I'm showing you in all these episodes, based on data, what can happen. You can ask any questions you might have. We are on YouTube, we are on LinkedIn, we are on Facebook, so call your friends, tell them that this is going to happen. And today we're going to talk about St. Lucia, but any other island in the Caribbean, this is relevant. So for my people from Curacao, my people from the Eastern Caribbean, Aruba, St. Martin, Barbados, Grenada, all the islands in the Caribbean, this is relevant to you. Now, let me go right away and tell you what we're going to talk about. We're going to pick St. Lucia as an example, and then we're going to show the island of St. Lucia, and we're going to show St. Lucia as an example what can happen with the Caribbean islands. So if you're living on Curacao, this is also relevant for Curacao, for Aruba, for St. Martin, for Bonaire. We're going to show what can happen if there is a tariff in United States and if it drips to the Caribbean. Second thing is we're going to show you some data we're collecting about the BRICS economy so that you know how important the BRICS are and how big their economies are, etc. I'm going to show you all the data. So let me go and show you right away here this island. This island. What is this island? Let me show you right away. Yes, I'm showing you. Let me see. Share my screen. Yes, let me show you this island. Okay, so this is St. Lucia. Just an island in the Caribbean, beautiful. If we zoom out, you see St. Lucia is part from the Eastern Caribbean. So this is where we are in Curacao right now. And you see St. Lucia is just an island in there. We have from all these Eastern Caribbean islands, 8 Eastern Caribbean islands, we have economic models. So I will be showing you what the impact is on the Caribbean, and we're taking St. Lucia. Now, let me move right away and show you to my scenario framework where I'm running these kind of scenarios. So what is this? This is a macroeconomic model. I'm not going to bother you with the macroeconomic model, but what is this thing? This thing is a tool where you see the years from 2025 till 2030, you see a past, so you see it goes back to, let's say, 1997, and you see that this is the St. Lucia economic model. So what is this? These are the key figures of St. Lucia, and you can also show you them in a dashboard. So this is the GDP, this is the total economic activity of St. Lucia. You have many, many indicators. You have inflation, you have indicators like, let me see, you say number of unemployed, you have capital investments. So if you are an investor, if you are somebody living in St. Lucia, if you are a government person, you want to know how this economy will be impacted. So you want to know, what if Trump raises taxes, tariffs on other countries, and what is going to happen with St. Lucia? Now, going back to St. Lucia, this is where we run a scenario. This is where we run a scenario. And a scenario means just we're going to change something in our economy, and then we're going to try to find out what will happen with the economy. Now, this is very important. It's very important to calculate, like, what is potentially, what can we put into the model? And this model is just for discussion only. That means that we are running this scenario and we are analyzing what will happen. Now, imagine you have Trump increasing the tariffs. In a previous scenario, in a previous episode, we already saw that if Trump raises tariffs, it's going to increase the inflation in United States. Why? Because a tariff is a tax on goods and services from Canada, from China, from Mexico. So what is going to happen is that the tariffs are actually going to increase the prices of United States products. Now, if we move to this model and we go to this sector here, we're going to import price. This import price in the St. Lucia economy is basically the price of the United States, the consumer price of the United States. Why? Because St. Lucia imports a lot of their stuff, a lot of their goods and services from the United States. And the United States imports those things from China. So if United States increases, for instance, 25% tariffs on China, on Europe, eventually you will see that the tariffs, the price of the United States can increase significantly. Now, in this scenario, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume from 2025 that this price, you see here the price is about 2%, 2.3%, that this price is going up. So what you're going to see here is the next 4 years, let me change the color in orange, that this price, which is right now 2.3%, it's the price consumers pay on average for the basic goods and services in the United States. And those goods and services will be imported by St. Lucia. The price is now about 2.3%. So what we do is we go to simulation. We go to the simulation sheet, and you see here, this is the import price. So in this import price, the beauty of the model is I can add anything in this. I can run a scenario. I can choose with all these indicators, I can run a scenario. So my scenario is for just for you to show. We're going to put 25% in here, and we're going to put in all the years 25%. Why 25%? So assume that the price increases with 25%. The inflation increases with 25%. That's a lot. And I hear you saying that cannot happen. But I don't know how much they're going to increase, but let's just assume that the prices increase 25%, which is the import price. Now, when you go to the model, you see right away, because I inserted this in the sim, you see that the import price, the price of USA, is going to be higher, 25% higher. You see that? 4 years, because 4 years, Trump is going to put this policy. 4 years. Now look at this. So if you move to the right, you see that this is a 25% increase. And now let's look at the impact. For that, I'm just scrolling down and I'm looking at the key figures. And the key figures are from 25 till 2030. You see here? Now, let me walk you through this. What is the impact? The impact is, for instance, here, real GDP. This is the economy. Everybody is looking. The government, the businesses of St. Lucia, they are all looking at real GDP, the growth. What you see here, this is minus 4%. This is negative. This is bad. This means that St. Lucia will have a decreasing economy, will go into a recession just because the prices went up with 25%. I don't know if it's going to be 25%, but imagine it is 20%, 10%, whatever. That's the scenario. Imagine the first impact. The recession is going to enter your border in the Caribbean. And remember, this is not only for St. Lucia, this is also for Curacao, Aruba, St. Martin, Barbados, because all these countries, all these islands, they import a lot of stuff from the United States, and the United States imports a lot of stuff from China. So this is the impact. The second thing, why is this happening? This is happening because the consumption, the price went up. What's the price? The price from St. Lucia itself, this is the price, consumer price of St. Lucia went up 16%. And you see here, first it starts in the United States, and now St. Lucia has a high inflation. And because of this high inflation, I can tell you that consumers' purchasing power, the purchasing power of the people, high price, the purchasing power is going down. So all the labor unions in St. Lucia, all the government, all the people, the public servants, the public employees, the private employees, if you have a pension funds, you are a pensioner, you are going to see your purchasing power going 9% and then 4%, 2%. Negative. What is purchasing power? Purchasing power means you got a salary, and now because the prices went up, how much you can buy goes down. This is negative. The labor unions should start increasing their demands because they want higher wages right now. Just because the prices in the United States went up, and now it is in St. Lucia. Remember, this is only an example. Now, what helps happen? Because the purchasing power goes down, that's why consumption goes down. Look at this. So the reason why the economy is contracting is because the consumers cannot consume anymore. Consumption is going down. Everybody is buying less cars, buying less food, buying less investment products. All the investors, the investments going down planned, they are not feasible anymore, profitable anymore. So imagine you have a project and you want to start a business in St. Lucia. And you projected everything that people are going to buy your luxury equipment, your bags, your whatever. Now the prices went up. They don't have any money, purchasing power anymore. And now consumption is going up. Now, this is exactly now how much people are going to be unemployed. You see here? Boom. The number of people unemployed. 500 people, 1,000 people, 1,300, 1,300 people, 1,600 people. Now, unemployment is going up. Probably the taxes will go down. If we move to the government, let's move to the government, because I can move up to the government sector. So the government sector, you see here that, let me see, direct taxes. Let me see. So we always have to look at everything. Consumption going down. Now what I expected is that the taxes would go down. So this is, the model is showing this, but I need to check this thing for sure if everything is correct or not. Boom. But the deficit needs to go, let me see, okay, boom, 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 okay. So I need to investigate exactly what happened with the fiscal sector, but the economy is going down. The reason why probably the inflation, the taxes went up is because that the prices are going up. You see, so there will be more taxes because of the high high prices. The government probably the government will tax that, and it can mean that the taxes will go up. Okay, so what you see here is the impact of, let me see, show you. What you see here is the impact on an economy of tariffs in the United States. So there are different ways that we can calculate this, and this is just an example. Okay, so we are 20 minutes in. You have any questions, ask these questions. You have seen this is for St. Lucia, and you see here, boom, this is going to be bad for all these islands in the Caribbean. Now, if you want to know more about how I use these models, and if you have certain things that you want to be calculating, I am a consultant, I am a trainer, coach. I have programs where we discuss these strategic issues. And you can be a private investor, you can be a group of private investors. We can arrange something, you can contact me, and we can create an experience where we discuss how this is going to affect your portfolio, your wealth, etc. But this is just a general picture of St. Lucia. Now, what kind of models do we have? We have these models for, let me show you the spreadsheet again. We have these models for St. Lucia. I'm having these models for Curacao. Yeah? So the same model and the same structure with all the data, but now for Curacao. I have these models for all the Eastern Caribbean islands. So let me show you these islands again. I have these models for the Eastern Caribbean islands. Yeah, the Eastern Caribbean islands. St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, Dominica. All these islands are in what is called a monetary union. Grenada, monetary union. And I also have this model for Curacao, for St. Martin, Antigua, Barbuda, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we have this model for Jamaica. And we have this models for Turks and Caicos. There, Turks and Caicos and Jamaica. So if you are on one of these islands and you want to dive in, you are a group of private investors, you might be a policy department of the government, you might be a labor union, you might be captains of industry, you might be investing in these islands, then we have all the data, we can run the simulations, and we can create a program for you. And if you want to monitor these islands, we can also do that for you. because we are here to help you build your wealth. And wealth is basically your net worth, is your salary, your savings, your investments, etc. Now, the next topic I want to share with you is the BRICS. What is the BRICS? The BRICS is, as if you have been following me, the BRICS are a group of nations that are surrounding China. There used to be 5, and now there are 10 official. Indonesia joined, Ethiopia, we have Iran, we have also, I will just show you that, I will show you the names, okay? But these are already, there are more and more people, United Arab Emirates. So they are, basically, you have the G7, which is the 7 industrialized nations, and then you have the BRICS. And then my thesis is that the United States, the era of the United States might be in decline. Many people don't believe that. I have some friends on Aruba, etc. They're talking to me and they say, no, this is going to stay forever. But there is plenty of evidence and also data that the United States economy is in trouble. So Trump raising taxes, isolating himself and America from Canada, Mexico, from China, taxing everything from Europe, that means that this can impact your wealth, United States wealth. So even if you are not on an island, you are living in the United States, you are living in the BRICS, you are living in one of those countries, this is interesting because now we're going to look at the data of the BRICS. I'm going to create what I'm telling you, a macroeconomic model for the United States. And I decided also that it might be very interesting to build this economic model just like we just saw, but now build it for the BRICS, all the BRICS nations. So, if you are interested to that, I want to just go to a break where I show you what I'm going to do with the macroeconomic model. And then I'm going to show you, after the break, I'm going to show you exactly what I've been gathering the data. Because I'm collecting data from the United States right now, but also I started collecting data from the BRICS. Boom. What I'm going to show you, let's go right to the break. Now, what is this this offer about? This offer is I'm right now. If you go to bit.ly/USA-macro-investment-model, you go there, you click, then you can join the VIP launch for the USA Macro Investment Model. It's a founders edition. It means for you right now, just join, put your name, email in there. Nothing is required, but then by doing that, you raise your hand and you tell me, Runy, I gave you my name, email, don't spam me, but I am interested in joining this opportunity. And the people in the VIP launch, very important persons launch, they are going to receive an invitation to learn more about this 16-week experience where we are going to analyze United States model, United States economy. We're going to discuss more and more of these scenarios. You can bring your scenarios, your thoughts, your ideas. This is especially for 50 people. Either you are a private investor, public investor, you are a pension fund, We will group with 15 people and we will be in the journey, and the journey is going to share our knowledge, sharpen our knowledge, understand what's going to happen to the United States, what potential scenarios the United States are in the next 4 years, and how this is going to affect your wealth. Because what you have in savings, if you have stocks, if you have salary and you're trying to save, you're trying to buy that house, you're trying to save money for the children, you're trying to put down your money for the mortgage. Yeah, you are either a high-paid professional in the public sector, private sector. You might have your own business. This is going to impact you. So you want to know. And by understanding, by joining a group of 50 select people, you have the opportunity to learn and to design your strategies. Okay, now let me go now to the BRICS and show you what this is about. So this is the BRICS. Let me share my spreadsheet again. Now, so this, let me see. Yes, okay. So just like I said, we have the data from St. Lucia. You see that I have created these kind of models. You see what you can be doing with the models. And now I'm going to show you the trick of the BRICS. The first step that you need to do, just like ordering the data for the United States, you need to have the data for the BRICS. So a while ago, I showed you a publication which is called the BRICS Joint Statistical Publication, which is all the data currently available of the BRICS nations. Now, the next step is that I now have this data in a spreadsheet, and this is the spreadsheet, and you see the first, what kind of data do we have? So you see here that we have economic, social. Table 1 is general information about the BRICS. Table 2, population. Look at this. And what are the countries of the BRICS? Brazil, China. So we are here in the spreadsheet, and I'm just going to show you that we now already have the data. So we are close to getting the data so that we can create a BRICS economic model, just like you just saw for St. Lucia, Curacao, and those 12 islands that I have already built a model for. Now, you would say, Runy, you cannot do that because the BRICS is different. Brazil is different than an island like St. Lucia. And India is so large and China is so large, that's totally different than Curacao. Now, you are not right. Because economies, they behave the same way. The same indicators that are in a small economy like St. Lucia and Curacao and St. Martin and Dominica and maybe Aruba, the same indicators are working in Brazil, in China. Just like we saw the consumption of St. Lucia going down, if something happens with the consumption, with the taxes in China, you're going to see the same thing, only the numbers will change. It's much larger. Now, in this spreadsheet, you see already the data for the people who don't believe in the United States. I'm going to show you some data that you see that this is really, really powerful. So, population, how big are these? Brazil, China, Egypt. Egypt is the one I forgot. Ethiopia, India, Iran, Russia, South Africa, United Arab Emirates. And in here, in this publication, we don't have Indonesia. So how much is the population? How big are they? That you will see that. Then we have labor force. Because if you have the labor force, that means that how many people are able to work. The Chinese, how many people are between 16 years and 65 years? How big are they? Imagine China. If they are so large, the population is so big, then you have more talent. You have more PhDs. In Curacao, shout out to my friend Dr. Miguel Huda. We have Miguel Huda, PhD. But there could be 1,000 Miguel Hudas, 1,000 people, 100,000 people with a PhD, because the pool of labor is bigger. That is why you need to want to know labor force. Labor force is basically the unemployed and the employed people, and they are there. We have the data. National accounts. If I'm analyzing an economy, I want to know the figures about consumption, exports, imports, investments. That is in the national accounts. So you see why, if you have an economist like me with 30 years of experience who are from the Caribbean, who knows the Caribbean islands, and who knows how to gather the data, if you have me at your side, then you're going to fly faster, because it will take you 6 to 1 year to gather this data. But because you are here, because you are part of my crowd, Island Wealth, that's why you're getting this information. Now, when you join my programs, we will go deeper, because I will have more time to show you the graphs, to make the graphs of all these indicators, and to talk to you, to tell you how this is going to affect your wealth. It's not about this data. It's about the assets that you have. It's about the quality of your life. It's about what you can buy, your children can buy. This is the world we're living in. And in the next 4 years, Mr. Trump, is going to shake the world. It's going to be very, very volatile. It's going to be many, many things working. And that's why you need to understand how the economy works, how these things affect you, and drill it down to your wealth. How much money you have, how it's going to affect your salary, your savings, your stocks, maybe Bitcoin, maybe your investments, your real estate investment, whatever. So bring your friends to this table, because now it's free and I'm giving you this information out of my heart, but you need to ask me questions. I don't see any questions in there. You need to ask me this question. So you see here, I'm going to give you a bicycle horn right now. I'm going to give you, this is going to show you the data. Good. Other prices. We talked about prices. Now, how much are the prices rising in Brazil, China, Egypt, etc., Ethiopia? Now, if you are from the United States, or if you are from Curacao, or if you are from the Caribbean, you might look in all these things because you want to do business with the people who don't have a lot of high prices, because if the prices are high, then their purchasing power is low. So I would be looking as an investor, because I'm also an investor, I look at this data. Why do I want to see the prices? Because if I look at the prices and I see the prices going up more than 20%, maybe in Iran or in Egypt, I'm out. I'm not investing in those islands, in those countries. You see? So investors, this data means something for your investment decisions. If you're looking at Brazil and the prices are going up, okay, where are the prices going up? What is Brazil exporting? What is Brazil producing? I want to be know. If you are in the Caribbean and you're listening to this, how can you have an opportunity? You can look at Brazil and you can try to get a piece of the trade between Brazil, China, Egypt, Ethiopia, because you can deliver services to them. Okay. Living standard. I was very, very surprised to see the living standards of Brazil, China, the BRICS nations in here. Why? Because it tells you that the leaders of the BRICS, they care about the living standards of their people. They are not only caring about the growth of the economy, about money, 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 they care about the living standards. You see? So when the leaders look at the living standard and they tell the people from the statistics, hey, we want report, we want data about the living standards, that is a sign they care about the living standards. Okay, good. Resources and environment. You see here all the things about the environment. This is table 7. Table 7, resources and environment. That means that they care about the nature. They care about what happens to the environment. Good. Industry. We are going into table 8, industry, and then we're going to see what are the industrial products, because their manufacturing is growing and United States doesn't have a lot of manufacturing. I heard agriculture. United States might be exporting other products. We can look at that because we will have all the data of the United States also to compare with them. This is a great table, industry, because here you see the manufacturing of all these BRICS. And if you manufacture stuff means producing this keyboard, producing this mouse, producing this computer, this iPad. That is manufacturing. You see? That's manufacturing. If you are not able to produce anything physical, you don't have a manufacturing. So these are the tables. Energy. Energy, agriculture. How much agriculture do we have? Table 10. Okay. Transportation, information and technology. So the BRICS, they are monitoring everything about ICT. And that's why DeepSeek comes from the BRICS, from China, and not from Europe. Because they are monitoring this technology and they want to be better than the United States. So finance, external relations, this is trading. Okay, so how does it work? You have this table, number 14, you have number 13, and now each table has a number. 12.2 is Brazil. 12.2 is China. 12.2.1 is Brazil, etc. So all the data, you have the table. Now, how does this work? Look at this. What I did is, and if you are part of my program, you can go, you see here below that I have invested, me and my team, we put all this population, we call them yellow. That means that all these tables, these spreadsheets are yellow, is from population. Now let's look at Brazil. Boom, Brazil, 2.2.1, table. This is the data of Brazil. So before we had this data, which is the data is just in a PDF, and now I can play with this data because I can say, hey, well, look at this table. Let me try to insert a graph. Let me try to invert a graph. Boom. Let me try to invert the graph. You see here? That's the title of the graph. Before, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that because I didn't have this table in Excel spreadsheet. You see? Now I can make a graph about the population. So Brazil has about 211 million people. 60 years and older, 33 million. Life expectancy, 76 million. Now, I'm not going to run this, but let's get this data for Egypt, because I'm still yellow here. I go to Egypt, boom, and I'm seeing, okay, this is population data of Egypt. 105 million Egyptians, pharaohs. Let's look at China. Boom, go to China. 1.4 billion people. How many people are between 60 16 and 64. These are the people working. This is the population. Look at this. 962 million people between 16 and 64. Has this population been decreasing? No. It has not been decreasing. It has been basically stable. You see here? Because it was in 2014, it was 1.3, now it's 1.4. Because I got this here near, now I'm going to fly, and because you are part of the program, or you raise your hand, you go to this this website, and you say, hey, Runy, I want this thing. I want this thing. I want to be in. So what you need to do is just click on bit.ly / let me see, bit.ly / USA macro investment model, and then remember this, you are in. It doesn't cost you anything, but then you will raise your hand and say, hey, I want to be more. I want to know more about this. I want to know more. I want to really know more. I want to be in. My wealth, I care about my wealth. You see? Good. So, now, what? There's not only population. We don't have only population. We go to the right and you say here, these are the green tables, which is labor force. Boom. BRICS. Brazil, labor force. Now we're going, so what did I do? I went to the table 3.2.1, Brazil, and then I got all the employed people. How many people are employed in Brazil? How many? Because these are the people who have money because they are employed. How many people, how many female people are employed? If you want to do business for female Brazilians. How many people are between 15 and 24? The youth. You see? 14 million on average. The youth is decreasing. It's from 2017 million going to 14 million. You see here, we can analyze. If you're doing something for the youth for Brazil, this is it. Now, if I want to do this for China, I go to the next table, China. Here you see the table of China. Now, my goal is not showing you this labor force in agriculture for China. So I hope you start understanding how this database is not a game of mine. This database is power to understand what is data and how this data can be turned into wealth, into your net worth increasing, you're taking the next best bet. Because when you know the data and when you can run simulations, when you can scan the future, what you can do is, hey, how are we going to do it? How are we going to invest? Are we going to invest in real estate? Are we going to invest in public stocks? Are we going to invest in stocks of Brazil, in stocks of China? Are we going to put our money on the bank account, in the Caribbean, on a Caribbean bank? Are we going to buy Bitcoin? Anything. Those are the possibilities when you are aware of what is happening. So what I offer you is basically data, insights, trends, the numbers, and then scenarios, play with those economies, and then understanding those economies, and then I leave it to you for your own investment decisions, because nothing in here is investment advice, but I can provide you with data. We can sit around the table, strategic boardroom meetings, I called it. So those 16 weeks is not going to show you only data, but this data is just the intro, the discussion, so that we can base our discussions on real figures. And then, what if? The moment you start asking, hey, what if this happens? What if this happens for St. Lucia, for Curacao, for St. Martin? Then we run a simulation. So it's basically one, we got the data about the United States. We got the data about the BRICS. We understand exactly what is happening based on data. We can analyze the trends. The second is we can run simulations because we can run what if this happens, what if this happens. And we are not only going to think about it, but we're going to run a simulation and discuss it. And then, hey, what does this mean for my portfolio? That means, what does it mean for my investment, for my saving, for my job? And if you only have a job, but you don't have savings, now you can understand, like, hey, what's going to happen with the savings rate in the United States and in St. Lucia, in Curacao? What's going to happen if they create a lot of money out of thin air because the economy is going down? What does it mean for Bitcoin? What does it mean for real estate? Is it safe to buy a villa and then rent only to tourists from the United States when you see that the BRICS are basically up and United States is going down? In previous episodes, I have shown you, based on data of the United States specifically, what the debt situation is for the United States. So we have all these data basically also for the United States. Now, spreadsheet. I just want to move away to get, for instance, the national account data. This is the national account. You see here Brazil again. All these data of the Brazil. Then we have China. All these data about how big the economy is of China. Now, here, 126 trillion renminbi. So we need to translate this, of course, in dollars, but this is in their currency. Now, let me just move ahead and show you some, because this is the orange part. This is still, let me see, orange is national accounts. You see here, the next one is prices, inflation, CPI. If you don't believe me, this is the prices. All the kinds of prices, electricity, all the kinds of prices, consumer prices. The next category is the living standards. So the brown one is living standards. I like this. Brazil, household capital, how much money do they have, savings, how much money, the highest, the lowest. You see, many data. I'm very, very impressed with this data. China, I'm very, very impressed. So congratulations to the people for the BRICS, all the statistical offices that created the BRICS joint statistical publication. And thank you for providing that. And I am going to use it. And if any people from the BRICS want me to discuss these economies with them, it's also available for you. I'm also available for discussions with you. There is some time zone differences because right now it's 8 o'clock in the Caribbean and it's 8 o'clock in China, I think, Beijing. So there is some time difference, but if you are looking at this, just shout out to all the people from China, BRICS, etc. So this is environment. You see here? This is environment, BRICS. So you see here, for instance, Brazil, water, fresh water, lime, main mineral reserves, crude oil, China. So nature reserves, area conservation, fresh water. So if you are concerned about environment, pollution, coal, iron, all these rare earth materials. They are focusing on them and they are collecting them. We have this information. Thanks to the statistical offices of the BRICS, the people who produced the joint statistical publication, the only thing I did is I converted this into a database. Okay, now let me just go to the next part, which is the industry. So this is very, very interesting because the industry, the blue one, is basically what is the industry doing of the BRICS. So this is the main industrial products of the BRICS, of Brazil, of China. Now, what does it mean? If you are from the United States and you believe, okay, we're going to bring all the manufacturing back to United States. We're going to tax them, and then people, the business, the public businesses, public enterprises, the enterprises that you can buy, we can all buy from the stock exchanges, that these are going to come back to the United States, then you need to know what is actually happening. So Mr. Trump says, we're going to tax them, raise tariffs on them, and then automatically bring the manufacturing sector back to the United States. How big is the manufacturing sector right now? Of China, of BRICS, of India. What are they producing? Are they producing only services? Are they producing Facebook, Google? Are they producing Amazon services? Yeah. What are the biggest companies in the United States in the S&P 500? Because I'm an investor also. I can go from the macro picture to the business and I can show you. I'm not going to advise you about the investment, but I can, that's my skill. I can go from data from a country to an island, and then I can dive into a specific sector, and then I can also show you the companies that are basically running these data, that they are responsible, because these companies, you can buy them. That's basically the game we are playing. The game on the chessboard is that I bring for you, the island wealth is from an island. What I bring to you is, this is the macro picture. Then these are the companies, these are the sectors, and this is what is happening. Do you want to know? If you stay till the end, because I'm quite almost finishing, if you stay till the end, I'm going to show you actually a website where you can see the Chinese companies, the biggest Chinese companies right now, the biggest companies in Russia that you can buy. I'm not going to tell you which one you buy, but I'm just going to leave it to your imagination. Right? So, how it works is, let's go back, and we see here the industrial sector of Brazil. Why am I interested in this, and why should you be interested in this? If you want to invest or trade, or if you are a Caribbean island from Sint Lucia and you want to go to a trade agreement, a trade mission to Brazil, because Brazil is the closest one. Cuba is also joining the BRICS, so you might go to Cuba the next time. But now let's go to Brazil. Let's go to Brazil. If you want to go to Brazil from Sint Lucia, that means that you can already start trading with the BRICS, because if you trade with Brazil, you trade with the BRICS. How much does Brazil produce? What do they produce? And that's what you see here. So in the tab on, we are in table 8.2.1 Brazil. We are in the section industry. And now we see here, Brazil produces coal, 8.2 million tons of coal. Natural gas, 45,000 million cubic meter gas. Iron ore, you need iron ore to make steel. They produce 47 million tons of steel. These are their data. 30 to 47 million. It went for 48 to 47. It's basically stable. You see here? Stable. They are not growing a lot. Passenger cars. So they produce cars. Household refrigerators. They produce refrigerators. If you are in St. Lucia, you are in Curacao, you are on Aruba, you're trying to diversify, you are in St. Martin, you want to diversify from tourism, you might go to high-end tourism, become a luxury tourism destination like Seychelles or Bora Bora, having a higher daily average rate of maybe 10,000, because now you have only maybe $160 or $200 daily average rate, but you want them the average rate they spend to increase. You might also have some businesses stimulate some sectors of people creating software for refrigerators, because they are selling refrigerators, a lot of them. TVs, they are selling TVs. Mobile cell phone. Washing machines. So this is basically the output. This is what they are producing. Fertilizers. Okay, this is cement. They are producing this. So this is Brazil. This is China. You see here all the numbers are much, much bigger in China. We know all this data, and we have the data from 2014 to 2023. We have India, manufacturing, mining, etc. So that is the production. Are you already understanding what we're doing? Energy, the BRICS, Brazil again. Energy, how much energy do we have? Oil and gas production, import, export of energy. This looks like an energy table. Energy balance. It's not completely wind, solar, other energy, all these things in the BRICS. So I'm pretty much impressed with the BRICS. And we have the table agriculture. Agriculture, I want to leave agriculture out because this is agriculture. This means that they are producing certain stuff that we can actually use in the Caribbean, on the islands. But this is what they're producing. Cotton, cassava, all these products. You see here? So I'm telling you, this is a lot of data, and this is agriculture. And now the last one, the transport sector. You see here transport sector, and you see here how much kilometers their railway is, etc. So we got a lot of data. We got ICT, and I'm still working. My team is still working on this. My virtual assistants still working on these topics. But you see here ICT, information and technology. If you are in a sector of information and technology, you see here how much do the BRICS, Brazil, China, how many broadband subscribers of internet do they have? If you want this data, if you are preparing a business case, this is their data. This is the data that they are working with during their annual sessions. Now, so where are we? We have finance. And then finance is very important Because finance will tell you how much money they have. What are they spending their money on? Brazil again. Brazil again. I want to go to India now. I want to go to India. You see, these tables are not ready yet because we are working on them, right? But you see here, we will be naming these tables and we will be collecting this table so that when we work with you in our strategic sessions, when you become part of the 16-week experience, we will be much farther with this data. Good. So I'm almost 1 hour live. And people tell me, why are you so taking so much time? Why don't you just give me 10-minute shot? Because nobody will listen. Listen, if you don't want to listen, if you don't want to prepare, if you don't want to know what is happening in the BRICS, in the United States, if you want to just wake up a day and then just see that your whole island is different, that the BRICS is now the top of the world, that United States is in a recession, that less tourists come to you. If you just want to continue believing in that strategy, you don't want to diversify, I cannot help you. But if you appreciate 1 hour of my precious time to show you what is happening, then please bring your friends, bring more of your friends, tell more people, whether you are on Nostr, whether you are on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Tell your friends about what is happening. Because it's not just working in your business. It's not just working at a job and then your career will go up. You will earn more. You can earn more, but on the other hand, the prices go up and then your purchasing power is, boom, going down. So you could be working now in Sint Lucia, very, very hard, like we started, in the Caribbean, and then you don't want to spend 1 hour of your time listening to island wealth, and then you will end up maybe in island poor, in island poverty. So the reason why I'm taking my time to show you is because these things, I cannot explain them in just 5 minutes and break it down for you and then, okay, that's it. I cannot break it down for you because I have to give you the whole picture. Now, the final thing I'm going to give you is what I promised you, because you stayed here. I promised you to show you what is happening with the biggest companies in the world. What is that? So let me go to a site. And let me go to a site first here. Global economies. Global economy. Company. We see global companies, and we see that website. Global companies. Yes. Yes, okay, global companies market cap. Now let me prepare it for you. And now I'm going to show you my screen. Right. So because you stayed till the end, I'm going to give you that extra thing for the people who left. That's why you don't want to leave early. I'm going to give you like 2 to 3 minutes of the best things. So if you look at this website, the website is not sponsored. They are not sponsoring us. They are not providing us anything, but we believe in these kind of websites. So companies, marketcap.com. Shout out to the people who created this. Companies, marketcap.com. A market cap is basically the number of stocks times the price of the stock. So if you want my market cap, for instance, of a company, and you have 1 million stocks, and all those stocks, they are $50, then your market capitalization is 50 million. So these are the list of the biggest companies in the world, and you can buy them because all these companies are on stock exchange. So you see how we work from the macro picture, from China, from USA, from Russia, from India. Then, because we analyze what has happened and potentially what if, we first looked at the data. We run a what if scenario. We run a what if scenario for St. Lucia. We can run it for all these 12 islands in the world, in the Caribbean. And next, also for United States, what if United States raises taxes? What if China? So imagine we have the BRICS data, the BRICS models, the United States models. Imagine you are part of the 16-week experience. And now imagine we analyze everything, and now comes the fact, hey Runy, what companies can I buy? Now these are all the companies that you can buy. I'm not going to give you any financial advice, because this show, nothing is financial advice. Everything is for entertainment and educational purposes only. But if you want to look at all these companies, here you see Apple. You see their market capitalization, 3.6 trillion. Nvidia, chip company, 3.2 trillion dollars. These are the largest companies. These companies are bigger than countries. Their market capitalization is higher than basically the total GDP, the total production of a country. For sure, the islands in the Caribbean. Okay? Each island, Curacao has a market, as a production of 2.5 billion US dollars, and this is 3.6. So basically, Apple has much more power than Curacao and Aruba and St. Martin, Turks and Caicos together. Okay. Now, Saudi Aramco. If you go to the right, you will see what is the country of origin. You see USA. So these are the top USA companies. But you see they are all software companies or trading companies. There's no production. Saudi Aramco. That's Saudi Arabia. Okay. Now, how do we select the Chinese? Then we say, we click here on top. You can click here. You go to China. Let me see China. And then there is some ad. But these are the Chinese companies. And you see here Tencent, technological conglomerate, which is a collection of businesses, 600 billion. Alibaba, 341 billion. Bank, all agricultural bank, China Mobile, etc. You see here? So these are all Chinese companies, big companies. And you can look at them. If you want to look at the sector, because we also discussed the sectors. So let me pick another BRICS country. Brazil. So what are the Brazilian companies? The biggest Brazilian companies that we can buy. So let me see here. Mexico, Brazil. Brazil, I select Brazil. Petrobras. Itaú Ubanico. Unibanco. This is a bank. This is a petroleum company. New Holdings. Vale. So if you click here on Vale, you will see what Vale basically does. And what the stock of Vale has done, the market cap, what the stock of Vale has done, you can find more information about Vale. So do you see the picture already? Your wealth can be, if you are interested in not a savings account, but you want to invest into a sector, you cannot buy a piece of the BRICS, you can buy a piece of the BRICS companies. If you want not only to look at the countries, that's the last thing I'm going to tell you, because then we go. And you want the categories. So you have seen that the railway business is growing in China. You see that they have a lot of mobile phones. You see that the ore, the steel, whatever is growing. You want to make some bets in automakers. Then you select the sector. We are already in not in airlines, we are already in hotels. So the Caribbean, we don't want to invest in hotels. Maybe. But we might invest in hotels in China. Which are the hotels, business, the chains, and where do they come from? Because if I see, for instance, that the tourism sector is growing in China, because we also have data in our spreadsheet about the number of flights to China, what we can do is check a hotel that is based in China, a hotel chain. Can we buy it? Let me just check it. Hotels, and I want a Chinese hotel. Do we have a Chinese hotel? Boom. Wazoo Hotels. You see here? So they are from China. They are growing. The price is growing. Wazoo Hotel is China. I'm not saying buy Wazoo Hotel, but I'm just making the connection between what is going on in my spreadsheet and what is hotel. So this is the website, and I want to close now. So what you have seen first is, in this episode, you have seen what an impact an increase in tariffs in the United States. Mr. Trump putting tariffs on everybody. That tariff going into the prices, increasing the prices, and then we run a simulation of a 25% price increase on Sint Lucia. Just an example. We run it, and I want it walk to it step by step. Just an example. We can do that for all the islands, 12 islands in the Caribbean, and we are building our database, our framework of islands. Right now, Curacao, St. Martin, Turks and Caicos, Eastern Caribbean, all the Eastern Caribbean islands, the 8 Eastern Caribbean islands, then Turks and Caicos, Jamaica. We can run it. We're also thinking about a macroeconomic model for Aruba. If you are not on this list, contact me and we can organize an experience where we build that model for you. Ultimately, my dream is to build 57 small island economies systems and share it with you in the world. But now, the second thing is we looked at the BRICS and we said, this is the data of the BRICS. And I showed you how I turned the PDF that we saw of the BRICS Joint Statistical Publication into a database of all the data available that is shared in discussions with the BRICS. This is the data they're looking at. And I showed you how we turn that data into decisions, into scenarios, into possibly like, hey, how am I going to invest? Where do I need to invest? Because you too can invest. You can put your money on a bank account while the inflation is increasing with 7%, 25%, and you are receiving 3% on your bank account in savings. if you are living in St. Lucia, Curacao, Turks and Caicos, or you can invest in Bitcoin. That's another episode. Shout out to all my people in Bitcoin, Lightning, all over the world. You can invest in a real estate, in a luxurious villa. You can buy a business on Curacao. You can participate part in a business, or you can do anything and say, I don't want to do anything. I just want to become island poor. Now, this is to open your eyes, because we are island wealth. Island wealth means living the island lifestyle, the wealthy island lifestyle, which is wealth in your mind, wealth in your body, wealth in your pocket, wealth in your heart. Do good for others. What we also have seen is, you stay till the end, I showed you the company's market cap. And then finally, I showed you how you can become part of a 16-week experience. I'm going to put it on the screen another time. Check the link, become a VIP, join the lounge. We are serving cocktails in the lounge. The lounge is going to be pretty awesome. When you join the lounge for free, it means you raise your hand and you say, hey, I want to know more. And then also you bring your friends if you care about their island wealth. So first, I'm going to show you the 16-week program. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. And then after that program, we're going out. So this is the program. Thank you so much. Let me change this. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Runy Calmera. I'm the Island Wealth host. I brought to you today everything I know. Currently, an update of the BRICS database. I told you that I'm going to build the USA macroeconomic model to discuss what if scenarios for investors, for pension funds, for private investors, for professionals. I create a lot of experiences. Strategic, I showed you today what it is about. It's not about me, it's about your island wealth. I showed you about the data, the what if. I want you to keep asking, what if this happens? What if this happens? How is this going to affect my wealth, the wealth of my people, the wealth of my nation, the wealth of my family, the wealth of my organization? And I keep navigating, helping you, focusing you to get your wealth, because it ain't fun to be poor. Let me tell you, it ain't fun to be poor. I know what I'm talking about. So thank you very much, and enjoy the last video of Island Wealth. I'm out.